everyone, it's me, Teresa Jewell at Stony Meadows Alpacas and Stone Mountain Looms, and I'm here today to show you how I make a critter cave. And I know I was supposed to do this video a long time ago, but I think I finally am set up where I can get these out to you and so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But remember to feel free to ask me questions during the video or after the video, and I'll try to get back to every one of you. First of all, this is our 3-foot square, and I've used rug yarn, and this is how we create the critter cave, is with the rug yarn. And also let me tell you, I have 3-foot squares right now ready to ship. So if you would like to order one, just message me back after the video and I can send them right out to you. But I can take orders for more. You're just gonna have to wait like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I can get them out to you. So first of all, the critter cave. This is what we're talking about, and it's a lot of fun. It's easy to do, and it's a great little asset. I call it a critter cave and not a cat cave because I have a mini poodle. I have a friend who has ferrets, and it seems like any small little critter really likes the way these little caves work out. I do make mine out of alpaca, and I do have bumps of alpaca for sale, enough to make a critter cave. Those are $92, and I can ship them out also. And those are from Empire Alpaca Association, and it's great alpaca fiber, and they make a great little cave. So with that, I've got a lot to show you. So here's the loom, and I have one already done. If you want to know how to weave on this loom, I do have 2 videos previously on how to weave a rug on this loom, and that's what you're doing, is you're weaving a rug. But instead of a rug, we're finishing it off as the critter cave. And you can see where I changed my colors for the critter cave, and I did use my pattern markings that I would burn in all the looms. Here is the X, which shows the middle, and you can see that's where my green was marked off. And I did not tie these in a knot, I just tied them so they were secure. When you're done weaving, you just simply take it right off the hooks, and it comes right off. And you can see the edge. It's a nice edge. It's gonna keep really nice. But I have one right here, because I'm gonna show you what it looks like after it comes off, and I'm gonna pop you right up here, and hopefully you stay put, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I think that's good. Okay, so first of all, you have your rug, and it comes off like this, and you can see you have all these little tie-offs here, and you don't want to cut them, because what's going to happen is we're actually going to put this in a front-loading washer when we're all done, and it's going to felt, and that's why the critter cave that you saw that was done looked very tight. It didn't have all these little holes in it. So these ends right here, before you get started, you're going to have to weave in your ends. And again, I don't suggest cutting them, because then you're just going to have little tie-offs off the side, and that's just going to be in your way, and it's not going to look nice. And you would do this technique to finish off whether you were doing a critter cave or a rug. And what I do is I just pull it tight and then take my end and just weave it back in on itself. And I hope my head is not in the way. I'm going to try to get some feedback from some of you guys. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Keep my head out of the way of the camera. There we go. Okay, so you can see I'm weaving it right in. And the finished rugs that I have using this technique, you really can't tell where I've woven in, and I'll show you one that I've completed. This is one that I have for sale in my store, and you can see I crocheted an edge off that. And yes, I did throw this in my front loading washer, just a basic setting. with regular detergent, and it felted it up nicely. But you can see, I'm going to show you both sides here and the edges. You really can't see where those edges, I'm actually trying to really look for them right now just to kind of show you. Because if something's sticking up, when all said and done, I'll take a needle felting tool, which is just, you know, a felting needle, and I'll tap in if I do see anyone sticking out that shouldn't be sticking out. And I honestly cannot find any of my tails. Well, see, I did a really good job. Go figure. Okay. So, with that being said, that's what you're going to do, is you're going to weave in all these little tails, just like that. It takes a little bit of time, but you can see as I'm weaving them in, you're not going to be able to tell where that is. Now this one, I have already done so with all my tails. Now we're going to go into the construction of the cave. And you can see I have a nice piece right here, and this is going to make a really nice cave. First thing I want to do, and I have to tell you, when I first started making these, I didn't measure anything. I just kind of threw them together. But I'm actually measuring today because I know you guys want to know exactly how it's done. So what I do is I fold each corner up and I measure it in at 10 inches, just like that. 10 inches, 10 inches, 10 inches. And you can go back and remeasure these as you're going. But what we're going to do to get that shape is we're going to sew. I like to use cotton, 100% cotton thread, because it's nice and strong. And I'm sure if your kitties are like mine and my puppy, this thing's going to take a beating, so I don't want to use cheap thread with it. So I'm going to basically just tack sew. And I would normally use like a brown or a fawn to match, but I'm using this color just so you can kind of see how I'm doing it, or more or less, let's see, make sure you can see here. There we go. So the first stitch that I make, and you can see I double strand my yarn, and that's because instead of tying it, I take my tail and I bring my needle through, and that's going to secure it really good. Now I'll have to switch my yarn out quite a few times during this. Now the other videos that I made the other day, I did put on YouTube, and I'll put this one on YouTube also. I'm going to see if I can try to fast forward through a lot of my work. I'm sure with the live video, people won't mind so much going through the whole process, but hopefully I can kind of work out those media skills. So you can see it's not going to take much time. I'm just tacking down, because what's going to happen is when this is felted, it's all kind of going to adhere and stick to each other anyway. So I'm just kind of getting the shape. So it's not going to take too long. Now you can be a little bit more clever in your stitches if you want to. But again, if you're using a thread that matches, you don't really have to worry so much. And this is going to be the inside of your cat cave. So when you see me making tails and not hiding them, don't panic. I'm sure the kitties will love playing with those tails anyway. So here, I'm kind of at the end. And this is again why I'm using a double-stranded, because it's a heck of a lot easier to knot it back up. So I'm taking one of these strands, going over one of those, and I'm just tying it secure. I hope you can see that. Oh, you didn't. Okay, we're going to go over to this other side. And let's see, get a little bit farther. There we go. I'm trying to see what everyone's saying on my tablet as I'm going, but my tablet is a bit lagging. So again, threading my needle, kind of enough to, you know, do both edges and a little then some. Making a knot. And about 10 inches up, 10 inches on that side. Now it's nice and secure. I'm going to go all the way around this piece here. Now you're going to see that assembling this cat cave is really, really, really super easy. I always tell everyone that if I can do it, anyone can do it. Let's see, trying to read some of your things here, making sure that there's no questions yet. Thank you so much, you're very welcome. Can you mix and match your yarn? Yes, you can. You can mix and match your yarn, but keep in mind, like this green was from one bump, this was from another bump, this was from another bump, but this is all alpaca rug yarn, and the reason why I chose natural fiber rug yarn is because I want it to felt. If you did not want it to felt, or did not need it to felt, you could use acrylic or some other types of yarns, but I want mine to felt. So that's why I chose this yarn. No, I didn't cut enough, but that's okay. I just tie here and keep going. I hope I'm not boring everyone. Let's see. Oh, and I am going to Fort Wayne, Indiana this weekend. We're leaving Thursday. We should be there on Friday. If there are any looms, if you're out in the area or going to Fort Wayne, Indiana and want to save yourself on shipping on any of our looms, contact me directly, 585-750-9332. Not right now, but after I'm done with the video. And I'll make sure that I have your loom with me. I am not vending in Fort Wayne. We are showing one of our animals. So I'm not going to have all the looms and all set up and that sort of thing. But that does not mean that you can't approach me and ask me questions on weaving. I'll probably have a couple little looms there with me, you know, to keep me busy. But if you do have any questions, or if you're in the area and you want to come to the alpaca show just to kind of pick my brain, you can definitely do that too. I believe it's a free event and open to the public. They usually are. So if you're a crafter and not an alpaca farmer, any of the events that I go to, the alpaca shows, if I wind up in your area, just come on over and visit. And there we go. There's number 2. Let's see. And I look like I am in a perfect spot in my camera. So I'm going to turn my work right here. And you can see I lost that a little bit. So I'm just going to remeasure, make sure I'm about 10 inches. Now this is a super, super warm, cozy critter cave. If I get an abundance of these made, especially if I get like some cheaper rug yarn, sometimes I come in contact with people who just want to trade stuff for some cheaper rug yarn made out of like some not so nice seconds or thirds. I'm going to donate them to the animal shelter locally. They always have a lot of cats, especially coming in the fall, and people kind of just dump them off at their doorstep. So a critter cave like this that's extra warm you know, especially if you're just kind of new at it and you feel that your work maybe isn't sellable, or if it's not something you necessarily want, don't let your work go to waste. Donate the critter cave to a local animal shelter. Let's see, any questions yet? Hello, Julie. Christine, hello. Megan, hello. Mimi, hi, honey. Yes, I am going to load this on YouTube also. And as for coming your way, oh my goodness, I would love to go to Nationals when it is in Colorado, because my daughter is in Colorado, in Denver, and if I get a chance to do a show out there and spend the week with her, that would be wonderful. So let's see. And you can see all my crazy stitches on this. I will also be at MAPACA, the Pennsylvania show. I'm going to be doing demonstrations on felting, but I'll also have weavings there. So if you can make it to MAPACA. But I think before that we'll be going to the Ohio show. That's the Buckeye Alpaca show. Don't ask me where in Ohio. I would have to ask Chuck, he's my navigator. Okay, so one more left. Everyone is being so nice for staying with me and watching as I go about this without tuning out. I appreciate that. In the last video I did, I don't know if anyone saw, but I was wearing a green shirt with an alpaca emblem on it. That was given to me by a very good friend of mine named James Ward, and he made that shirt for me. And he has much more in stock, so if you would like an alpaca shirt with that beautiful design on it, contact James. He's in my friends list. I'm sure he won't mind if you messaged him and said you'd like a shirt. Oh, the 3-foot square, like I said, is $200. I forgot to make plugs for my looms the last time I did videos. Not a very good sales lady, am I? The 3-foot square is $200, and it's usually about $20 to ship in the continental US. The 1-foot square and 6-inch square I can usually put in the same box, and that's about $10 to ship in the US. And the 1-foot square is $55. The 6-inch square is $35. Let's see, am I still on? I think I am. Oh, good. Sorry for that. I think someone tried to order a loom like right this second. It's pretty funny. Hi, Lindsay. Hello, Joanne. I think that might be Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. Oh, James Ward said he doesn't mind at all if you contact him for a shirt. It's great how I let you know that I was going to put a plug in for you right before discussing it with you. It's pretty funny. I'm making sure I'm still alive after that interruption. Let's see. Okay, last one. Here we go. Okay, that didn't take too long, did it? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is fold these sides up, because basically you want to make a box with an opening in the front to put your door. And I know you're thinking, how is she going to make a box out of that right now? Okay, so what's going on here is folding these inside kind of give it a little bit of structural integrity when you're putting it together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these edges together like this. And you can see kind of how it makes an opening. I hope you can see how it kind of makes an opening with a box like that. But remember, this is the inside of my cat cave. And oh, look, you can't even see those funky stitches from that side. I don't know how I do the things I do, I swear. Okay, so because this is the inside, I want my stitches to be on the inside. So I'm going to flip this over, because I want my stitches to be here so I can turn it inside out. And this isn't going to take too long at all. The most difficult part of this cat cave, I think, is definitely not the weaving, because the weaving is super easy. And not this part, because you're felting this and putting it together, you really can't mess it up. I know some of you are saying, oh yeah, I can mess things up, but this is really super easy. It doesn't get easier than this. Let's see, I'm not in your way, am I? Okay, good. I need like another phone so one of you can call me and say, get your head out of the way. I have a tablet kind of over there, but it lags and I'm not sure why. So if anyone understands this stuff and can give me some tips on my videos, you can definitely call me and help me out with that. Let's see. Okay. And how easy is this tying off? See how big the eye is in my needle? It's like huge. Okay, there's one. And you can see I'm in a different room today. I'm actually in my sunroom because it's such a gloomy day in New York that if I did it in my other room, you'd never be able to see anything. So I took over my husband's man cave with my weaving stuff. So if you see in the background of this room, there's a bunch of kickboxing gloves and memorabilia and non-weaving crafting items. Now, if you wanted a smaller cat cave or critter cave, you could make the little pyramids that I made in the beginning, little triangles that were 10 inches. If you wanted something smaller, you could go in farther. Like instead of 10 inches, you could go 12 or 14, and it would give you a smaller kitty cave. And because your triangles are smaller, or I'm sorry, larger, you would have even more structural integrity of your cave. And I can show you what I mean by that, because they kind of flop around. They're very loose, and they don't hold their shape like other kind of felted caves do. But I find that my kitties like them because they jump in them and roll around in them, kind of like a paper bag would. So at first because I got a few questions of people asking me, well, they don't seem to hold their shape and they kind of flop around a little bit, but my kitties like them, so I really don't want to change them to be aesthetically pleasing to a person. That wasn't the point of making them, so. Okay, one more after this. Look at how patient you guys are being. Oh my goodness. Okay, because we're gonna come up to the hard part, and that's the construction of the tunnel to go in. And that has a bit of crocheting to it, but don't be scared. We'll get through it, I promise. Okay. So here we want to do this. Right like that. Now some of these, when I get done with this part here, I've thrown them in the wash before putting on, let's see, let me show you. Before putting on this part here. And you can see where I've sewn it on. You can do that, you can throw it in the wash right after we're done here, but if you don't have a good sharp metal needle, you're not gonna get through that alpaca with a plastic needle. So keep that in mind if you decide to throw it in the wash, to kind of see how big it is before you create your door. So make sure you have a good sturdy metal needle, because you're never going to get through that with a plastic needle. Okay, so, and you can go ahead and tighten this up a little more, and I might do that a little bit, maybe 3 inches or so on each side before I put it all together. But that's what's nice about this, is you really can't mess up because you just make it better. Okay. It's probably why the kitties like my stuff, because there's so many little strings all on the inside of everything to play with. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it the other way around. There we go. Now I need a door. And you can see this is the finished. Let's see. Put this right here. This is what my finished looks like. So you can see it is floppy. And here's my door, but sometimes the kitties like to kind of go in this way. You can put it this way and they flop in. You can kind of TP it and have it that way, but they really like it. Okay, so here's the trick for the door. Okay, I am very frugal, and when I'm resourcing items, I don't go to Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby right off. I look and see what I have around the house. And as it so happens, is Cool Whip containers and coffee containers all are the exact size I need, the tops, for my critter caves. So I take my Cool-Whip containers and my coffee containers and anything with a plastic lid this size. And I put it on a wooden cutting board, and I use an X-Acto knife, and I go around the inside edge, and that gives me a perfect ring. Now you could use like the wooden embroidery hoop, but if you're putting that in the wash, I'm sure it's going to get dirty if you're using it for a critter cave. It's going to crack, and then you're going to lose your door. A metal ring, I've used a metal craft ring, and they seem too heavy, and they weigh it down, and it's harder for the critter to get in and out. So I actually like resourcing these. So what I do is, this right here is that cheap kind of, it has alpaca in it. I got it, I think, at Michael's. I think they might sell it at Hobby Lobby too, but you can see it's got a lot of guard hair in it. I didn't like it when I ordered it, so it's not something that I would want to use in a person garment, but it's perfect for critter cave. It's really, really thick yarn. I'm using, my needle size is an N 10 millimeter. For a rule of thumb for me, everyone always asks, what size hook are you using? And I very rarely know what size by number. How I usually tell is I look at my yarn. My yarn is that thick. I know I want a crochet hook that's that thick, and that's the way they normally come. So I'm going to create a slip knot, and if you're new at crocheting, this is going to be really easy. Don't panic, it's okay. So you're going to go around your hoop, grab your thread, go through. Go around your hook, grab your thread, pull through. There we go. We're going to go through twice. There we go. See, I remembered how I did it. 1, 2, there we go. Pull through, grab, go through once, go through twice. And how many I do around this, I keep going until the hoop is covered. I wonder how many people are laughing at how technical I get with all this stuff. See, this is why my good friend Ashley helps me write the books in my patterns, because she puts all my crazy willy-nilly, just put it together stuff in a form in which people can understand how to duplicate them. See, it's not taking too long. And I'm just going over this hoop. Now, I think this is a pretty good project for someone who hasn't crocheted before. And I'm sorry if I'm going extra fast. I'll slow down just a little bit. Grab, grab again, pull through, go around to the hoop, grab your string, pull through, pull through. Let's see if we've got some questions yet. Hi, Debbie Filer, Beverly, Kathy. Let's see. Ooh. Thank you so much. Hello, hello everyone. And then when we're all done and I put it in the washing machine, when I take it out, I'll show everyone. I would not do, like that one that you saw, I had an embellishment that was like a flower. I wouldn't suggest doing any embellishments until after the felting process. And I do have a front loading washing machine. If you have a top loader that has an agitator in the middle, you will ruin your cat cave. Do not try it in that type of washing machine. If you do not have a front loader, I would do it probably in the bathtub. I would not use a friend's machine because it's going to get all hairy and you're not going to have a friend anymore unless they're an alpaca farmer and they understand, or an intense crafter. Let's see. Now I probably could stop here because it's probably going to go around. Let's see. Let's see. That looks pretty good. And I can count my stitches just so you know approximately how many I did. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, about 32. Went around nicely. But see, that's the thing though, if you had thinner yarn, you would go around more. If you have thicker yarn than this, you could possibly go around less. So, you know, it all depends on that. Okay, let's secure here to the other side. Pull that tight. Now, I'm going to turn my work around because I want kind of a door. See this here? It looks like I went around. That was my first row. I went around 1, 2, 3, and you can go around as many times as you want. I think I've done a couple where I've only went around 3 times. Some I've went around more. Again, it's, oh my goodness. I'm glad this doesn't disconnect when that happens. Let's see. Okay, so now, if you can see in the crochet work here, there's like a tunnel in between each one. Do you see those like little tunnels? That's where I'm going to be inserting my hook now, inside those like little tunnels. Like underneath the V's. At the top they're V's, and underneath the V is like a tunnel. So I'm going to go around, back in. So I'm going to go through the tunnel, catch my yarn, go through 2, go through the tunnel, catch my yarn, grab, go through 2. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Gosh, I hope when I review this before posting it on YouTube, I figure out how to fast forward through all this. And if anyone knows the answer to that, if you want to give me a call after this video, because you know I'll be struggling with that. Let's see. Good, I'm staying right under the camera. I'm so proud of myself for not wiggling around on you guys. Let's see. About halfway around. And see, that's giving a really nice edge. Sometimes depending on how many times I go around, depends on how much yarn I have of that kind. Now I think what I'm going to do is go around one more time after this, just so we can kind of complete our cave. So you can see how I finished that up. And I'm going to put 2 in this one here, just so, I don't know if you'd caught that or not. I put 2 stitches right here. I'm almost to the end. And I'll probably add a couple stitches in here just so I'm not making like a tube tunnel. I want it to be more flat like this, where if I didn't add stitches while going around, it would go in more, and I want it to be more of a flat surface. But if you want it to be more of, I mean, you could make a tube. You could make this like a long tube that goes into your critter cave. I think that would be really neat. They'd probably like that too. So that maybe might be our next critter cave that we do. Okay, and I'm going to connect right up here. Add a stitch, turn it around, and go around one more time. I'm going to add a stitch here just so I don't forget, because I think I kind of forgot in the last one. There we go. There's 2. Yeah, I think 3 will be perfect for this. And I may tighten up my edges on my critter cave a little bit just to match the circumference of this circle that I just made. I'll put in 2 right there. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast for anyone. But that's great about putting things on YouTube, because you can backtrack and slow down. I usually work in a fast pace, so. Okay, so I'm coming to my very end, and I'm going to add 2 more right here. There we go. And I think I added like 3 extra stitches to that last round. Okay, I'm going to connect right here and then tie off. And I like to use my my cotton yarn to sew this on also, because I want to make sure that it's going to be nice and secure. And I mean, this is a decent yarn, but I wouldn't trust it for what I'm trying to do. Okay, so as you can see, my hole is huge, and this is big, but that's okay, not a problem. So what we're obviously going to have to do is bring these in a little more. But that's what I mean by the size of your yarn, and you know, this is something that you're going to have to kind of see yourself and see how far in you're going to have to go. Now, of course, this stretches, so again, when you're doing it, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you can move it over. So it looks like I need to go about 4 inches more all the way around. So I'm going to do that real quick. Because I know someone would have called me and said my ring doesn't fit the hole in my cat cave. Okay. So we're going to go about 4 more inches up. Can you imagine poor Ashley trying to make a pattern out of what I do here? Let's see, that's about 4 inches. Let's see, no questions yet. You guys are thinking, look at this mess she's making with all that string. Let's see, 2 more. So who am I going to see this weekend at Nationals? I know Holly will be there from Alpacas in the Glen. Okay, and 1 more after this. Now you guys know why it took me so long to make this video. Let's see. Okay, now I'm just measuring just to kind of see. That looks great, that looks great. Yep, and about 4 inches there, and it'll be perfect. I hope everyone got how I just finagled that. This rug yarn is really, really nice, and I know it's expensive for a lot of you who are thinking, oh my gosh, I'd love to make one of those, but $92 for rug yarn, that's kind of crazy. I did see at Hobby Lobby and Michael's, they do have rug yarn type of yarn now, and it is a heck of a lot cheaper, but it is not alpaca. It is made with wool. There is some that's made with acrylic. I would not suggest getting the one with acrylic, even though it's even cheaper. Get the one with a wool base. Make sure that it is a spun yarn and not just a roving, or it's not going to have the strength to make this. If you have any questions on the types of yarns to weave with on our looms, just give me a call and we can go over them. You know, even if you're in Michael's or somewhere, if I'm by my phone and I can answer, I will answer my phone and talk you through. See how I'm just popping my ends back in? There we go. Now, like I said, at this point, you can throw it in your washing machine. But make sure you have a really good heavy-duty yarn needle if you were going to do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to put that on. Now, if I had, let's see. So I am using this yarn, and it is not the color that I would normally use, but I'm using it so you can see my stitches, my haphazard stitches. But if this was a dark brown or even a green, and you can see with this one, I used a dark brown, they would blend right in. But we're gonna do it like this. And I'm just gonna go around the outside of this. And it's really, really, really that easy. So what I'm gonna do, because I wanna hide my tail, make sure my head isn't in the way. Okay. I go in, there's my tail. I'm gonna go back through and I'm going over one of those. So that way my tail is inside my work. Now I'm just doing a whip stitch, nothing fancy. I'm trying to keep my head out of the way. Now you're probably thinking it would be a lot easier just to have like a big long piece of yarn to go all the way around so you wouldn't have to switch your yarn. But if you do that, the chances of it getting knotted, especially if you're using alpaca or wool, is kind of great. Just gonna hide that right down in there. Now after you're done felting this in the machine, you can go back and tighten up anything that you want. So I'm going to cut it right here. Take one of my ends and my needle. Run through to the other side. Tie it right to there. I want to make sure we stay nice and even. Okay, about one more thread and we'll be done. And for all of you who sat through this, I applaud your patience. And if there is something else that you would like me to demonstrate, let me know and I will set it up and show you how it's done. My next video will be for Mimi. She would like to know how to use her rectangle loom. So we are going to be going over rectangles, different sizes, and what you can do with those different sizes on our next video. I might be able to do that video tomorrow. If not, it's going to be when we get back from Indiana this weekend. But I'm going to really try to do that tomorrow in between packing. So that way Mimi can start on her rectangle loom. Oops, gotcha. There we go. Let's see, any questions? Let's see. And here's your kitty cave, or critter cave. But like I said, don't be afraid to practice, because if it's not something you like, donate it to your local shelter. And they'll be really happy to get it. So there we go. Don't be afraid to begin. And I'm going to show you what this looks like after we're done felting it. Look at that. Looks like a little kitty igloo. But we're going to throw that right in the washing machine and get that all felted up. And I'll probably do a little more stitching around the edges. And I'll show you when it's all done. Thanks for watching.